casual side quest. No topic is off the map. It's a casual side quest. Talking nonsense and talking facts.
Hey, we're back. We are here. Never fear. How you doing, Luce?
I'm good, thank you.
You good?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
Been better, but I'm all right. My feet are fucking freezing at the minute. I'm sat in the garage with no socks on and just trainers.
Because it's so cold
And
everywhere.
It is getting a bit. Well, I wouldn't say
Have
it's
you
that
had
cold
any
here,
snow?
but I live on the coast.
I've had no snow.
There's too much salt in the air for it to lay
I
here.
feel like I'm the only town in the northern atmosphere that's not had any snow.
I think last time we had snow was 2020.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, we just don't get it. There's too much salt in the air.
Yeah, no, I've not had any.
So-
Loads of people around me have, but
Oh, really?
no, just heavy rain and flooding
Yeah,
and
that's
ice.
shit.
And that's about it. We've had the shit side of it, not the nice fluffy snow side of it.
Yeah, no, we've had ice and everything else, but nothing like that. But I've got a four-wheel drive car, so it doesn't really affect me.
You won't show off.
Nah. But yeah, no. Apart from that, we're gravy. Oh no, apart from the fact yesterday cost me 300 quid. I forgot to mention that part.
Why?
Tires.
Car. I was going to say car.
Hit 2 potholes in Essex that I didn't see, and they've basically taken a chunk out of both my sidewalls on my car, on my tires. Not
that
enough
makes
to
me
the
feel
point
pain.
where they're dangerous. But when I've got my kids in the car, I ain't risking it.
No.
And the MOT said I need new tires by the summer anyway, and the rear.
Yep.
So I went, do you know what? I'll just get all fucking 4 done. Boom. So yeah,
Oh no. That's
being done Saturday. Yeah.
Fun.
Mate, honestly, the roads in Essex are fucking terrible.
Oh, they're not much better around here.
Oh, they're shocking. Absolutely shit. And I was just
A1's
like,
a treat.
A1's
around
awful.
here.
I've been around it. I've done the A1. It is a shocker. M25 is A12 in Essex. Essex County Council, sort your fucking lives out. All right, you cost me money. It was that foggy. Literally, you just couldn't see in front of you. It was really weird though. Like, not joking. It was Silent Hill fog. 1 minute it was yellow, then it was clear, then it was blue, then it was yellow, then it was blue. Fucking weird.
That makes me excited.
Weird as shit. I was like, wow, that is strange. Never seen it before in my life. Never seen fog yellow to go, then go to blue, then go to yellow,
I have
back
that
to
a
blue.
lot around here, yeah.
Weird.
We get that quite a lot.
Fucking bizarre. But yeah, no. Apart from that, oh no, Nan was isolated. Went to go see Nan, didn't we? She has a chest infection, and they've isolated her. Chest infections are not contagious.
Well, there are the rumours
They're just not contagious.
of another lockdown.
Well, have you had these as well? Have you? Because of this new virus coming out of China. Is it HMRC? Oh no, wait, that's a different virus.
If only. We could get a lockdown out of that.
No, it's
one.
HMRG or something, isn't it? Or P or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the rumours that who the fuck is going to listen to it?
I just like it's just scaremonger, isn't it?
Well, it's not even that, but you look at like people like obviously didn't see their loved ones who passed away during, and then the government are having fucking parties. Nobody's going to listen to them.
The thing is, like, people are like, oh yeah, but we'll all get furlough again. Who says we're gonna get furlough again?
I don't want furlough.
But this is what I mean. People are like, oh, that's great but it's like, who's gonna? But then 9 times out of 10 now, like, and I was talking about this with my other half, Carol, the other day. Most people are going with working from home. Like a lot of companies have gone and sacked off their buildings and just said work from home.
Wish ours would. I wish, honestly, I'd love to work from home.
But
I mean, we
it's
can't.
Like, a lot of
we
people
still got a
say,
factory,
but a lot of companies like and people like Elon, that say like, oh no, they need to be in the workplace because they'll work better.
No.
Actually, it's been proven that your productivity is so much better from your own home.
Well, when I had my operations in Jacob was about 4. I think it was his 4th birthday at my last stop. I literally was working from home 2 weeks after I had my operation. My productivity, my work rate, my mistakes dropped because I was comfortable in my own environment. God, I was in here. I was working from here.
But this is the thing, isn't it? You're in your own environment. You've got your stuff around you, and it has shown, like, percentage-wise, that the productivity for people working from home.
I had all my ambient lighting, which I was nice and calm. I was relaxed. I was collective.
Whereas you have to go through the stress of driving to work in the morning, then being there in a room environment that, in your case, is way too hot.
I have made this very, very public knowledge.
But like, you're just not in the zone, and it's not about like, oh, you know, you need to be around people. No. You can still be around.
The thing is, to do my job, I technically don't need to be around people. It's helpful because of what I do. It's handy to have designers behind me and everything else, but technically you don't need it. Do you know what I mean? Like, to do what I do. Does there have to be there has to be an office building because we need a factory to produce. Yeah. But technically to do what I do, no, I can work so it wouldn't affect me into a degree. But who the fuck wants furlough? Why would you want to live off 80% wages and still get taxed?
Do you know what it is? It will be, and I would probably speak for them because I was one of those people. It will be the people that work in hospitality.
Oh yeah. I get that.
You'd be like, happily take furlough rather than working in the hospitality industry because it's an absolute shitstorm.
Working in the hospitality industry without fucking a pandemic is shit enough.
Oh, I mean, well, it's the reason why I quit in the end. Because I was put on furlough, but because I was a wedding manager and organizer, I mean, I remember the day we went on furlough. I had a wedding that day, and it was like, sorry, not happening. But then I had another 80 weddings to rearrange, but they were like, well, you're on furlough. But you can, if you want to work full, it would help. So that's how it works. So essentially, I was working for 80% pay. Instead of them just giving me the full pay because they would never do that.
Yeah, see, I didn't want to be furloughed, but I knew I couldn't afford it. And you know,
it was the going back.
It's not the company. You know, they did what they need, and I'm glad they did because everybody else, a lot of people kept their jobs. Yeah. But you know, it financially crumbled me going for being furloughed because I was using credit cards to pay like council tax. Yeah. It wasn't enough money there. Yeah. You know, I was struggling to pay bills like full time, let alone being on 80%.
Yeah, 8%. It's 20% counts.
Yeah, and
technically your 20% is your living.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't begrudge it at all because obviously decisions were made and it wasn't easy.
Yeah, I mean we could have ended up
exactly
with no pay.
Exactly. So you know, I'm extremely great, and the company's now flourish. You know what I'm trying to say? Flourishing. That's the word. And you know, but I would not want to go back through that again.
I mean, I don't think it will happen. I think it's just another internet scaremongering thing. If it did happen, I think it'd be very different. I think there'd be a lot of riots.
Shall I give you my thoughts? Shall I give you my thoughts on it?
Go on.
Do you know what New Zealand did? Fuck everything off for a month. Shut everything down for a month.
I just don't know if it would work with us now.
It wouldn't now.
Because of the way society is and social media and you know everything in between. I think there'll be riots. I think there'll just be everything.
If they'd done that in the first lockdown,
we wouldn't have this issue.
Everything down for the month, for even 2 months. We
wouldn't have this issue.
And just let the fucking die off.
Oh, you know, that's what you get when you have a female prime minister like her.
Well, you know, I'd fucking.
Well, I'm not praising all female prime ministers. I just want to say that because Liz Truss.
Thatcher.
And Thatcher. Of course. Some people love her, but
no, my old man cheered when she died.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're from Yorkshire, you definitely don't love her.
For more than one reason, because he went to the Falklands because of her.
And my family had a lot of their mines shut down because of her.
My dad's family were miners as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel that.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I don't believe it, and
I hope it's not.
Just stop watching TikTok videos, guys. I mean,
the problem you've got is media is going to push it. So.
Yeah, but can I just say something? If China's genuinely doing this, do you think they're filming themselves and putting it on TikTok?
No.
No.
It's all propaganda, social media, scaremongering bullshit.
You think China's doing that? Absolutely not. like, no way.
No.
Anyway.
But
yeah.
I mean, it's just. But don't stop watching all TikTok. You know, still watch mine and Luce's.
Oh no, still watch it. Well, for you Americans, you've got what, 4 days left?
Is it really happening?
Until someone buys them out, yeah. There is talks for someone who is on Shark Tank, who is it's a bit like The Apprentice, but American version.
No, Shark Tank, yeah.
He's on about buying it and privatizing it. I don't know what he's going to do with it, but in talks with Donald Trump to save it. But I don't. Well, Trump's not going to be in power on the 16th, so I don't know. It'll go.
I think
essentially whether it comes back, I guess.
But the problem is
crazy.
though, like they're making so much money over there in America on TikTok.
I would say it's more heavily American than it is any other country.
It's starting to sort of like flow over here now. We're starting to see a lot more programs come over on the TikTok side of things now. But geez, I just think it's going to fuck a lot of content creators up.
Well, a lot of them are just you know, diverted to Instagram. I guess that's probably their next best bet. I mean, some people could do YouTube, but if you've got a big YouTube channel, I think if you've got Instagram, it's a little bit easier. Because the shorts work a little bit better than I would probably say than they do on YouTube.
Well, do you know what? I also like the fact with Insta. I've only got to post once, and it'll post to Facebook as well. Yeah.
So it's a kind of link to that.
Yeah.
But we don't need to go into a Facebook chat because he's on a moral dilemma as well.
Yes, he is.
Yep. I mean, where do you go? I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, where do you go now? I mean,
where do I go now? Sorry.
It's dependent on what your content is, I guess.
Yeah,
you know, I think
some
the content like that will work well on Instagram, but like if you are perhaps maybe just a sole video gamer, maybe looking at YouTube, it doesn't really work that well on Instagram. I think it depends on
what you're. I think that, like I said, it does depend on what you're doing. Because I've posted some videos on Insta that flopped on YouTube, but fucking gone like mad fire on Insta, and then I've posted exactly the same sort of content, and it's flopped on Insta, but fucking flown. Weird.
It is completely down to, like, if it's meme stuff, you'll work on Insta.
Yeah, meme stuff 100%. On Insta. Yeah.
If you're doing clips of a video game,
unless you're big. YouTube's struggling now though with that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's becoming so hard.
A lot of people are saying there's a big downfall for YouTube at the minute. So.
Yeah, there is. I feel like YouTube, you're getting no reach, nothing. But they're trying to bring out the 3-minute shorts, aren't they?
Whether it works.
Well, some people have got it, some people haven't. So who the fuck are they deciding who they're giving it to?
I don't know.
It's weird as shit. Probably. I'm nowhere near being partnered.
Me neither. I put 200 views. So if you want to give me a follow, guys, feel free.
I think I'm at to 400 and something followers.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that as well, because I haven't really been posting on there.
To say it, all I put in there is reels.
But
I mean,
to get to the point of tonight's podcast, it is kind of rumors. It is kind of rumor based. Ubisoft. Now, there are some rumors going around, guys, with regards to Ubisoft at the moment. Now, no, there's been nothing to sort of like collaborate them. There's been nothing to sort of like confirm them. But there has been some rumors going around that Ubisoft is actually struggling. And, you know, it pains me, this one. This one actually hurts me. Because I am a huge Ubisoft fan. I love Assassin's Creed. Now, obviously, Assassin's Creed Shadow was meant to be released 14th of February. It's now, if you didn't know, been pushed back to the 20th of March. Which I said last week it would happen.
You did say that, but
it's not a big one.
Push.
I think there's just a few things they're not happy with that they want to get ironed out. Which makes sense to me. I'd rather see them push it back than rush it out.
Oh, I agree.
But there's also a rumor going around that they shut a studio in France yesterday.
Yeah.
Which, again, if that is true, that's huge. Because you also said yourself, Luce, you were shocked that Ubisoft didn't do stuff at Game of the Year.
Game Awards.
I
found it strange. I mean, don't get me wrong, most of it was a lot of reveal of new stuff, but there were people that had already done their reveal of new stuff that came out with like extra stuff on top of that, even people that came out to promote it.
Yep.
Because the Game Awards has always been like a big highlight promotion because they know how many people they get in to watch it. And Ubisoft every year do tend to really jump. I mean, they did that for Star Wars, and they do tend to really jump on that.
Mhm.
So I was very surprised that they didn't, and I was a bit like, So when you told me this earlier, obviously we had a brief chat before podcast. I was like, I'm not really surprised now then, because that kind of made sense, because there's key moments where you promote yourself, you do your initial stuff, and then you do your build up, and then your gameplay stuff, and then you do another promotion before you're going to release. Perhaps they didn't do it because they were delaying it, but still, if you're only delaying it by a month, wouldn't that still be an opportunity to do that?
I think
I don't
so.
know. I can't really talk.
Or
for
do they not have
Ubisoft.
the money to do it?
Could be another thing.
Because we all know, and this is no secret, Star Wars cost them a lot of money.
Yeah.
They took a
Big,
huge hit.
big downfall for them.
Took a huge hit on it.
Big downfall for them.
And, you know, it's no secret for that. And I think this is part of the I think Shadow, and I don't want to say this, but let's just be honest.
It's their only hope.
It is the last hurrah.
It's their only hope.
Yeah.
If this game flops,
Ubisoft, I think.
would probably say Ubisoft
I think, yeah.
is done as a company, as a gaming company.
Yeah, I think Ubisoft are going to be done.
They're not being innovative enough, bringing out other stuff apart from Assassin's Creed. I mean, they could have gone in a different route. Why they chose Star Wars, I don't really know. I don't really know where they were going with that. They could have gone in a completely different route, done something completely new and different with the same sort of elements that they put into Assassin's Creed, but not really have a link to a big franchise. I think that's the problem. They linked it to a big franchise. People had big expectations.
It didn't hit.
And it didn't hit, because it's like, this is a beloved franchise where people do nitpick. I mean, you're talking about nitpicking. I mean, they will literally tear apart everything. Series, films,
even
anything.
if like one of the outfits is slightly, they'll pick the shit out of it.
They'll pick the shit out. So why they did that, I don't know. Why they couldn't have just gone, let's try and create a new. But this then comes down to, did they have the creative writers for that? Did they have the funding for that? Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps it was easier to go from something else. I'm not sure.
I don't know. But I think what bugged me is they dropped their BR, their extractor looter shooter BR, for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted the BR that they were working on, because I think it would have changed things for them. But they decided to drop that for Star Wars.
I think they truly expected this to be an amazing game.
And it wasn't.
And I truly think they wholeheartedly felt that. But this is the problem. When you buy into franchises that are so big and so beloved and have huge communities around. I mean, you're talking about Star Wars is probably one of the biggest ones. You've got Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. I mean, you could go through all of them, but Star Wars is probably one of the biggest ones. You're taking a risk in itself doing it.
Massive risk.
Like you're taking a huge risk, and I don't know why they went there. I really don't know why they went there.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I didn't play it.
I mean,
a lot
I
of
like
people are going to be like, well, you're obviously not a
but...
Ubisoft fan then, because you should have played. If I'm not interested in the topic, I'm not going to play it.
But that's another downfall.
Yeah.
If you do like Ubisoft games, but you don't like Star Wars, why are you going to play it?
I'm not.
So and you're almost you are picking yourself to a selective community. I like Star Wars, but am I addicted to Star Wars? No. I'm going to buy a game on it? No. I mean, the only Star Wars games that I did do were the ones done by Sony, which were actually good games. Because they sort of had that Spider-Man-esque to it. But I'm not gonna spend 60, 70 pounds on something that I'm not really that interested
in. I tell you the other thing? I think Ubisoft kind of lets Ubisoft down, and I've spoken about this on my own stream and everything else. Their launcher on PC is utter rubbish.
Crap.
Because some days, for example, I was playing through all the ACs from AC1 all the way through. AC3, I got halfway through it, turned it off, come back the next day, boot screen, close. Boot screen, close. I can't get anything older than Origins to load now. And I have literally
I think it's just they
Googled the shit out of it.
I don't think they have the staff to fix it.
And it pissed on my fire.
I do think, like a lot of great companies, I think Ubisoft is reducing,
Yeah.
and that ultimately is going to affect the type of games they produce. Could this be the last Assassin's Creed we
Potentially.
see? Potentially.
Which
And
I'm going to be pissed at. Do you know why? Because I was so looking forward to Hex. Being Assassin's Creed walking around fucking like witch in Germany. Come on. I wanted Hex as well.
I don't know.
You play the shit out of that, hunting fucking being a witch in Germany.
I would all the time. I would all the time. But this is the sad reality. Unless they truly get another company or
a buyer,
some
just
money
someone to buy
behind
in.
them, just to help support them, they need new management for sure. Because the direct, I mean, I'll be honest. Assassin's Creed's coming out. Do I know anything about? Not really. I mean, I've not really seen anything on it. It's not out there. Like
You have to hunt for it.
But that's the problem.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, when Konami were like, "We're gonna do the new Silent Hill," everywhere, everything, anything, doing stuff, interviews, this, that, going on all these Game Awards shows, showing it because they knew it was going to happen. Nothing from Ubisoft.
There's been no sort of leaks.
Yes, they did do the announcements.
They have done a cinematic for it.
And they did the cinematic announcement, but that is it.
I've seen the odd snippet. I've seen the odd snippet of gameplay with like the parkour side of it and the mantling. I've seen little bits like that, but I had to literally find it. It didn't like come up on my. I had to search for it to find it.
I mean, the coming tale will be in the next 2 months. You know, sending it out to creators that have the ability to put it out there for you is a great idea. Whether they would do it, I don't know. I don't know. I want to believe in them because I am an Assassin's Creed fan.
If they sent it out to me, I would jizz myself. I'm not even going to hide it.
Listen, Ubisoft.
Yeah, innit? I would literally be fanboying all over TikTok and YouTube with, "Oh my god, look what they sent me!" I'd be all over it.
But can I be honest? They're relying on one game.
Yeah, they are.
And one game type.
Yeah.
And it's very different if you've grown up with it.
Oh, yeah.
But you're in a new market now. And it might still work in a new market. I will give you that.
I say, I've had the same thought.
They are all putting all their eggs in Assassin's Creed basket. And that's the problem.
Well, you talk to the younger generation now, not my generation. Like, because obviously I grew up playing. I played the first one, so therefore I grew up.
Was it the
I'll tell you.
official first PS2 launch?
Yeah, it was.
Didn't they come out together?
Something like that.
I remember that.
But yeah, so I've played them all the way through. The only ones I haven't played are the Telltale because I'm not a massive fan of it. Do you know what I mean? Like
there's a Telltale Assassin's Creed.
There's a form of like Telltale Assassin's Creed, yeah.
Shut the front door.
Honestly, it's not Telltale.
I'm finding it.
It's very similar to Telltale, but it's. I'm gonna Google it right now.
Not heard of that.
But they're sort of like.
I've just done a Telltale games actually.
They're sort of like they. Hold on. They're called the Chronicles.
Oh yes, I do know.
Yeah, the Assassin's Creed Chronicles.
Yeah,
but to me, they're a bit like a Telltale. They're like a Telltale sort of version.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy them.
So I haven't played because they're not my sort of style. But when you talk to like the younger generation, and I've had quite a few of them in my TikTok recently. Like I said, I'd love to see you play Assassin's Creed, and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I'd love to do it, but at the moment I can't get fucking Ubisoft to work on my PC, so I can't do it. And because they want to see me play the older ones, because they don't know them. And when somebody's turning around to me and saying the best Assassin's Creed they've played, and I don't even want to say it because I just don't agree, was Odyssey.
I knew you were going to say that. The worst one.
And to me, and literally my face just goes, the worst one for the mythology that you could ever fucking pick.
The one that could have potentially been the most amazing
was the worst for mythology.
The worst. I hated it.
Yeah. I liked the game. I didn't like the mythology. I didn't like the way they done it. To me, it was off.
But this is the problem. With Assassin's Creed, I was really driven by the story element of it as well. obviously it's very open world, and it gets more open world as the games have gone on, because they've obviously branched out from
They had
it.
to.
And I think I lost my interest a little bit in some of them, especially with Odyssey, because I was like, there's nothing here for me. I'm looking for some form of story. I'm not really getting it. And I just sort of fell out of love with it. And that's when I probably stopped playing them. The new one I would really like to play, because I'm very intrigued to see where they go with
Did
the
you play
story.
Origins?
I did do Origins, yes.
See, Origins saved it for me.
I did really like Origins.
Mhm.
But this is, again, it's like, for me, I'm very drawn to 1, 2, 3.
Altair, goated.
It's
Anything-
hard. Like, Altair was a great one.
Yep.
Then you go to Ezio,
Ezio trilogy.
and also following the story of
Yep.
Desmond was something. And then he just went and obviously died and all that malarkey. And I was
Spoiler.
like, sorry, if you've not played the games. If you've not played the games, what are you doing? It's been many decades.
Too many.
But that's where I kind of felt, because
Yeah.
I was loving the fact that we were going through Desmond. I didn't expect Desmond to be the one that we follow for the rest of life. But then when it was connecting characters to the new age, to the old age, there wasn't much to it. So I kind of missed that element of it.
Shall I tell you what? Shall I tell you what did bring that back though? Valhalla.
Never played it.
Valhalla, they brought it back because
I watched people play it.
But did you see the bit where they find Ivar's grave?
Yes.
And she's sitting there and she's bending down, she's talking to, and I was just like, oh, why does this feel so Desmond-like? And I was just like, you can actually walk around his burial site and you can look at things. And I was just like, oh. But then with Valhalla, and the people said to me like, and I'm gonna, this will make sense, I promise. But you had Origins, which people said was too long.
It was quite a long game.
It was. Valhalla, people said was miles too long.
Probably agree with that.
No, see, I don't.
I watched people play that and I was like, I'm bored.
I've got 400 hours into Valhalla.
That's insane.
Yeah, but I'm going for completion. And when you
Still
think
insane.
you've got a Viking story, an English story, an assassin story, DLCs. There's 5 DLCs on Valhalla.
Do you think that's maybe where they bit off more than they can chew?
No. Where it went wrong was, oh, Valhalla's too long. Mirage, let's make it shorter. Well, that was fucking pointless. It wasn't long enough.
How long was Mirage?
8 hours.
Oh, what? What?
You could complete Mirage
I've never
in
played
8 hours.
it, so I can't. That is bad.
The storyline you could complete
For an
in
Assassin's
8
Creed
to 10
game,
hours.
I would even say like the older games were not 8 hours.
Altair you could do
Maybe
in
the
6.
Altair probably.
Yeah.
I would say the other one's not.
But if you just went the main storyline, forgetting any side missions or anything else, you could do it in 8 hours.
That's crazy short.
But then people were kicking off saying it was too short. What a fucking pointless game. I'm like, they've made it short because people were complaining that Valhalla was too long.
You can't please everyone.
But I think this is the problem.
I would hate to be a game developer.
But I think this is where where Assassin's Creed has been struggling. Because, and this, I don't mean to like partition like the sea or anything. You've got the old heads who love Assassin's Creed, who love the storylines, who love to get involved, like me. 400 hours into Valhalla, I'm still loving the storyline. I'm still loving the character developments. The younger generation don't have that ability.
The thing is, with the younger generation, in the current climate of what we'd have in gaming, 8 to 10 hours is probably a long game.
Yeah.
For games that come out now. Like, realistically. I mean, when I played the new Silent Hill came out, I was like, I'm going to make the most of every single thing of it. And that was still probably maybe max. Oh, well, no, actually, I probably did 17 hours on that.
Yeah.
But that for me wasn't long. And everyone's like, oh god, that was a long playthrough. And I'm like, why is that a long playthrough? Because I'm just like like with Resident Evil days, I'd be like, I'd still, even though you could technically complete the games within 3 hours, I would spend like 9 hours on it. But I think now the games that come out are probably a max of 10. I don't think you see.
But I don't think these storylines are that inquisitive either. I don't think they're that intrusive. I don't think they're that well developed.
completely agree. Life is Strange. Remember the game that I used to
Hmm.
talk about, and I was really excited for the new ones came out. Really disappointed with it.
Yeah.
Really short. Not that great in like. I mean, it had a good story, but it wasn't amazing.
Yep.
And luckily I got it for a cheaper cost. But if I wanted to buy it without a discount, it would have cost me 60 quid, and I would have been like, what, 7 hours worth of gameplay for that?
This is what I mean. So like you've got the older generation who grew up with games, developing characters as the game went on, wanting that. But then you've got the younger generation who haven't got. I mean, look, that's why TikTok's so fucking popular with kids, because it's short attention span. You haven't got to think. You haven't got to do. You just flick. When we want a character
as well.
Well, it is, but we want character development. We want a character to develop in a game. Kids these days, younger that haven't got that sort of patience.
It is very true. I mean, Elden Ring, for example, did like a poll on age range of people that play it, and I think their age range was for 30 plus.
Yeah. More
so than younger than that. Because theirs can be up to like 300 hours if it wanted to be.
Exactly that.
So I think that it is. I mean, I'll be honest. Do I want to do 300 hours worth of? But I wouldn't be against it if I could go back on. And I think that's probably what it is that we can just sort of do things. Whereas now people binge games so quick.
I think that's why
there's no enjoyment.
But I think that's why like Hellblade 2 went as popular as it was. I don't know why. I'll tell you what. Hold on, I'm changing my music. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna. It keeps cutting into adverts, and it's never done this. And it's really irritating me. So I'm just gonna change my music. There we go. We've gone back to what we originally used to have. But this is what like Hellblade, I think, because a lot of people say that Hellblade 2 was too short, and I don't think it was. I just think of the fact they did it to meet with the modern way that gaming works.
Yeah, I think it was one of those games. I don't think it was too short. I mean, if you replayed it, it wouldn't be. Because there was like when I played the first playthrough, it was essentially shorter than the first one, but because it is so easy to guide through to go into the next bit, and I was like, oh god, I've definitely not explored enough. So like in my head, I'm like, shit, the person that loves to, I've definitely not explored enough, and I didn't even complete half the stuff that I wanted to do on it. So if I played it again,
you'd take your time.
But then I'm wondering whether that's a tactic. Because I'm like, is that a tactic for you to play it through, and then you get to the end, you're like, shit, I've missed this. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to do it again. And that's a very, very clever gaming developing tactic, because you essentially want them to not just play it once through, chuck it in the cupboard and move on to the next thing. Because essentially that's what a lot of gamers do. You play it, you chuck it, you move on.
But
you want them to come back.
I feel like that's our generation mentality. I don't think the younger generation would do it. I think they'd just be like, I've completed it. I'm not going to go back through that again. Move on.
Some people wouldn't. Yeah, some people wouldn't.
I'm like, nah, I'm going back.
I'd go back.
Well, look at the first one.
And you also have a different experience.
Yeah, well, look at the first one. 16 times it took me to get all them fucking lures eventually. Without Google, because I didn't Google a single one. I found them on my own. All right? It took me 16 attempts to find every single lore stone. And eventually I found them all. And, you know, I'm even playing the second one. I found 4 lore stones that I missed in the first playthrough.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, okay, I clearly didn't do that. But this is where I think, going back to the Ubisoft, I think this is where they're struggling with, because like the younger generation just haven't got that mentality to like push through it. Some have. I know I'm generalizing, but the majority don't.
And this is why I was so surprised they got rid of their FPS, because it was something different and it worked.
I reckon their BR, Extract and Looter, would have been an absolute hit.
I'm surprised. I am surprised they didn't do it, because you cannot, as a company like Ubisoft, solely rely on one game.
No. I mean, but then you look at the other games they've released. Legion. Watch Dogs.
But like, this is the thing. It's like their creativity was great. This is where I'm wondering, where is their creativity because we don't really truly know
No.
what the sizing of their departments are now. Has that reduced a lot? Because why would you suddenly, from some company that has, you know, come up with this amazing creative idea for not only Watch Dogs, for Assassin's Creed, etc., to then go and do a Star Wars game? It's a bit like you kind of just go, huh.
It
It's
doesn't
almost
make
like someone
sense.
came. It's almost like a CEO came in and said, "We're doing this to make us money," and they
Yeah.
go, "Oh, okay,"
But,
and that's it.
But I mean, you look at the games that they have released. Like, I mean, for example, obviously you got your Assassin's Creed franchise. That's the main game that Ubisoft
What
are pretty
they're
much known for.
Truly.
Right. But you've also got The Division.
Which
What
is
a
one of the
fucking game that was.
And where did that go?
Exactly. They made the second one, and then they were talking about releasing the third one, but I don't think it went anywhere. Obviously, you've got the Watch Dogs as well, which is phenomenal. Rainbow Six is Ubisoft. I mean, granted,
Maybe Rainbow Six might be.
I don't like the
maybe
new Rainbow Six.
I mean, maybe that is their crown and joy, though.
For Honor was Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still love that game as well. And then they brought out X Defiant. And you just, I don't know. Battlecore, again, another one.
I enjoyed X Defiant, to be fair.
See, I wasn't a massive X Defiant fan, but then, apart from, obviously, Far Cry. Far Cry, again, is Ubisoft.
I don't know where they're going.
And you just look at it and go, the amount of absolute Breakpoint, again, Wildlands and all that.
Here's the question I have for you.
Go on.
Do you think one sole game can completely destroy a company?
Yes.
Do you think that might have happened?
Yes.
Okay, we're in agreement with that then.
Star Wars.
End of conversation.
But
I just don't get it.
I also believe though that a game can save a company.
Oh no, I 100% agree with that. But I am still to this day, when they announced that Ubisoft was doing a Star Wars, I was like, I don't get it.
No.
I don't understand why they're doing.
Because they've never done a franchise like they've never brought into it. It's always been their own thing.
They've been creative. I mean, look at what they've created: Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs. Why are you now?
Can I tell you one of the best stories
that
I've ever played? One of the best storylines I've ever played. The Division, the first one. The storyline in Division was, oh my god,
great game.
From like how the outbreak started to how it was dispersed to how it was spread to like how the factions came apart and the city got broke. The storyline literally had you.
This is why I truly believe either the creative team has been reduced a lot, or they have now got specific teams for specific things. So maybe the reason why they have delayed Assassin's Creed is because they've got a smaller specific creative team for it. So it's probably putting a lot of pressure on them. And I will say this from the heart of hearts, I really hope this works for them.
I do.
I really do.
I
don't want to see a game. I truly don't want to see a games company go downhill, because let's be honest, since COVID, gaming companies have suffered tremendously. You know, and it's only now that we are starting to get back on our feet with like game releases and stuff like that. And bear in mind, this is, I mean, when was COVID? Like 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, we're talking about. 6 years ago, then.
Yeah.
6 years ago, we're talking about. And we're only just getting our feet back in. So I pray for them. I really want pray as if I'm religious. I'm not religious.
Didn't Elon want to throw money into a game? Throw it into Ubisoft.
Let's not
Save Ubisoft.
I've not the energy for that, man.
I'm just saying, save Ubisoft.
But this is another debate, because it's like a massive billionaire, which I'm not going to go too much into because it could be very controversial. However, he wanted to develop his own game because he's very much into sort of those RPG games. That has no stigma and is technically creating jobs or whatever. But the way he was talking about it is essentially that it's just being every other company in a sense, because he was like, oh, I'll be better than Activision. I mean, anyone can be better than Activision. It's not hard.
My left testicle could be better than Activision.
But what he could have done instead of is pushed his money into the gaming companies.
Yeah.
Saved them. They're not doing this through choice.
Oh.
You got to like one of my. I mean, I know you don't like Telltale games, but a lot of people do. And
Yeah.
that company went downhill. And if they just had the best like financial supporter, they could carry on going, and they can't.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
because
I
they
understand that
haven't got
like Telltale games have they do have a huge fan base,
huge platform.
and I get it fully. I've just tried them, and do you know what?
Oh, it's definitely a type. I mean, it's like, look, it's not for everybody.
No, it's not. But do you know what the funny thing is? I loved Once Human, which to me is a kind of, it's sort of like you got to make your choices, make your decisions. So it's got Telltale sort of like background.
I'll tell you what I did play. I played because I've played all the Telltale games, and there was one and I was like, what can I do on TikTok? Because I do very well on sort of storytelling stuff on TikTok for myself. And I was like, I need to find something new. I'm really fucking struggling. And I found one called The Expanse, and there was a program called The Expanse, which I have now dived
Never heard of
into,
it.
which I am like, you would love.
Right, I'll look
So
into it.
please do. Apparently gets cancelled though, which
Where can I watch
disappoints
it?
me. I watch shit on a noise site, but I think it's
Right.
available on Amazon Prime.
I've got Prime.
I think it got taken over by. It was originally on Netflix, but I think
Message me.
Prime bought it. Yeah. So it's called The Expanse. It's like a sort of sci-fi type game. I don't normally do a lot of sci-fi, but when it is a good, decent, because I love alien films and all that stuff. Alien Isolation 2 coming out, by the way. And yeah, I played it, and it was a really good, but it was a different kind of Telltale game, because it was less than, a lot of it is like point and click, and
Yeah.
it was, going around doing everything, but with the decision making. So it was one of the newer games. It came in
Quite like
2023, and I'd never heard of it. I didn't even know
I'll
it
check this
existed.
out.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and
Check
it's
that
making
out.
me want to go. And it's meant to be designed as a prequel to the series, so I
okay.
started watching the series, and I'm well into it.
I might have to give this a watch. Do you know what I did watch the other night though? On the old VR headset on the fucking ceiling, which was amazing. By the way,
You have VR?
I've got a VR headset. Yeah.
When did you get a VR?
Last week.
Look at how did you afford that?
Believe it or not, O2.
You've got it on. I was going to say you got it on O2.
£6 a month.
Oh, that's cheap.
I put £70 up front, and it's £6 a month.
That's really cheap.
And you get Batman with that,
I can't do it.
and you get 3 months Quest Plus.
I can't do it.
I'm using it for fitness. I'm using it for the boxing.
I just can't do it.
Honestly, the boxing's phenomenal.
It makes me feel way too seasick.
Because with the boxing, you don't really move. You don't walk. You just stand still. You just punch.
Not even about
I
that.
love it.
Just
Just-
even if I'm sat.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I'd love to get involved in it, because there's so much good potential out of
Honestly,
it.
it's.
But
I,
I just
I'm
get
loving
in
it.
there and I'm a bit like,
No, I'm loving
but
it. I've done boxing sessions on there now, and
So on the VR, what did you find?
Rebel Ridge on Netflix. It's cool. It's a
Rebel
film.
Ridge?
It's a Netflix film called Rebel Ridge.
What, you were watching stuff on Netflix on your VR?
Yeah,
That's weird. To
and you
me.
can flick it onto the screen. You can make it a curved screen. It goes into like a cinema mode.
That's so weird to me.
Fucking
though.
awesome. I love it.
This is where technology gets too much for me.
I love
I'm
it.
like, I'd rather watch.
I
on
know
TV.
it is lavish, and I know it's just fucking. It's a gimmick.
I don't think
give a
it's
shit.
lavish.
No, it is. It's. I could just watch it on TV, but the fact that I could lay in bed and have my own little personal cinema with little fucking headphones, it was fun. I loved it. Right, it was great.
Well, if you loved it, that's the main thing. Baby.
And the fact that like you can literally like set the, you can grab hold of the screen, you can move it further, and it's great. I love it. But yeah, Rebel Ridge it's called. It's
I think
it's
for
great.
me, it's just that too much on my face. That's just me though, and that's my ADHD.
Yeah, I can
Like-
imagine that.
Can't cope.
But this Rebel Ridge is basically it's a guy who's basically trying to bail his cousin out of prison, and he gets stopped by the
Oh,
old
I've
bill,
seen this.
and they
I've
take his
seen
money.
This. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I really
seen that.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I need to get into some new stuff.
It was such a good film. I was actually like really hooked in it as well, and I was like, this is awesome. But what
Me
else
too.
have I also been watching? I've been watching. I need to. Did you ever finish The Rig? Please tell me you watched The Rig. Right.
You can be angry at me, but
Okay.
you can tell me about it.
So, fucking. Sorry. Right. The Rig. You know the Khaleesi's bodyguard, Scottish guy. He's in it, and it's basically like these guys are out on the rig.
Oh, yes, I have.
The season 2's
yeah,
out.
I have. No, I've seen. Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm thinking of something completely different.
Right, okay,
yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
You've seen the second season.
I was like, yeah.
Right.
I've not seen season 2.
Season 2's out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't tell me anything.
No,
then.
I'm starting it this week myself.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just
I've been watching. What have I been doing? I've just been on a bit of a rewatch thing. So I've been rewatching Gotham series.
I couldn't get into Gotham.
Loved it.
No, I couldn't get into Gotham.
I really loved it. Once you get back past the couple of episodes, I really got into it. And I've actually started watching the new Dexter series.
No, can't do it. See, I've been watching because Dexter, pissed me off. Last episode pissed me off that much. I just don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, but it's a prequel.
Couldn't care less. The last episode of Dexter pissed me off.
She's like with the vampires.
Couldn't give a shit. See, I've been watching.
And then standardly, I just sit and watch my Criminal Minds every single day.
Do you know what? I've started Criminal Minds again.
I actually got Josh to start watching it.
Criminal Minds is amazing.
He is hooked.
I've watched all of the I've watched Criminal Minds Out of Borders, and I've watched all of them as well. But
do you
like your medical stuff?
I'm obsessed.
The Recruit.
I've seen it.
Oh my god, what a fucking show that is!
I've seen it.
Oh my god,
with that kind of stuff now. I really get.
Did you watch that? The one that I told you to watch.
Oh, the Sweet Pea.
No, not Sweet Pea. It's a medical one. In LA.
One.
Yeah. Black something. I'm gonna have to Google it again. Give me a second. Code Black.
No, I've not seen that.
Right.
I will watch that.
So Code Black is based in LA. Right. And Code Black in hospitals is where they're fully maxed out. Like they're at capacity. They can't handle anymore. And most hospitals, they say in America, it happens 4 times a year.
Crazy.
This hospital in LA, 398 times a year, they're in blackout. They're in Code Black.
Isn't that a standard for LA though? Anyway.
Yeah. So, do you know who's in this? I know it'll make you want to watch it. You watched Station 19?
Yeah.
You know Sullivan? He's in it. And also Rob Lowe's in it as well.
Okay, so I might watch it.
And Lewis Guzman as well.
Sorry,
remember him?
Code Black. Sir.
Code Black.
Yep, I'm gonna get out my notepad. One moment.
Do you remember? Do you know Lewis Guzman?
No.
You know, as soon as you see him, you will know who I'm on about.
If I see his face, I'll know. I'm one of them people that most of the time I do know who half the people are, but I am one of the facial. Like if I watch something, I'm like, I know who that is. I can say what film they're in.
I'm gonna put his face to the camera, so you can see him. As soon as I do this, you're gonna be like,
this is what happens, guys. Tangents.
Honestly, as soon as I do this, you're gonna be like, oh my god, yes, I know who that is.
We go on tangents, guys. You know it.
Hold on.
Bear with us.
As soon as I put his face up here, you're going to be like, yes!
Oh, yeah!
He's in it as well!
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically it's just them constantly in fucking Code Black where they just can't handle anything. And they're at max capacity.
Love that.
And they've got their...
I do love that kind of shit. But I will say, for me, serial killer stuff, Law and Order stuff.
Yeah, Law and Order
all the time. Law and Order SVU is probably my favorite. But then I started watching. What is the one where Stabler moves to? Law and Order Crimes and Punishment.
Crimes and Punishment.
I think is a really good one.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know what it is. I just thrive off that stuff. I don't know whether it's because I've got an interest in it, and I think that's why I want to sort of deep dive into it more.
No, I get it. See, I think that's why I like Chicago PD as well.
Yes.
Because Chicago PD linked with Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and it also links with SVU.
SVU, they're in that.
Yeah, and and literally, look.
I do like Chicago PD.
You're literally watching it going, you're out of this!
Yeah. I do love it when they do the crossover. So it's
Oh,
one of
it's
my favorite
great.
things in the world. I think I watch crossover episodes more than anything.
Mm.
Like when Criminal Minds started doing crossover stuff, I was like, get me in here.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was going to be a true life goal, it would be Criminal Minds, Law and Order just go.
Do you know what I
and
wish
form
they'd do?
together.
And I don't know how they would do it, but I'd love them to do it. Would be a Jack the Ripper series.
That has been.
Well, you've got Ripper
one-
Street, haven't you? Which is
yeah,
similar.
which was.
But I actually want it from Jack the Ripper's POV.
That would be great, but I mean, yeah.
I know
I'd
there's
see
going to be
that.
I know there's going to be a lot of infill
If
in
you
there.
were going to do it, I would actually do it from, and I actually played I mean, this is one of my old school, very favorite games, by the way, guys. Is the Sherlock Holmes Jack the Ripper case, by the way. But they do it in the sense because obviously a lot of the time, in true fashion, it's like Jack the Ripper's a very big burly man and stuff.
Yeah.
But whereas in this circumstance, he was a man that was riddled with a sexual disease that he got off a
Syphilis.
prostitute, and then he passed it on to his children, and they got deformed, and then he got so angry, and that's where I was like, I used to love that game because it was like more of a story to it. So if they did that element,
That's what I mean. It could be
I'd
very
be well
open.
into it.
It could be very open
rather
to.
I wouldn't want it to be like, oh, strong man kills.
Oh no!
prostitute.
I'd want it to be like what you've just. I'd want it to have its own little story. I'd want it to have its own development.
If they did it off Arthur Conan Doyle's version of it that he wrote for Sherlock Holmes, that would be a really good one.
Oh, I'd love
And
that.
at that time period and stuff.
Yeah.
And even if you put a bit of Sherlock in there, not have him as the sole focus, but even if you have him as a bit of a side, but yeah, I'd watch that. I'd 100% watch that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got. Are you a big Peaky Blinders fan or? No?
I like Peaky.
Are you looking forward to the film or no? What do
No,
you think
not
it's gonna be
really.
like? No.
I
A lot of people are saying no, but then I don't really understand why they're doing a film because they're bringing out a new series. So
I
I'm a
think
bit
with
baffled by it.
Peaky, I think the fact that it's again, I think some things work better as series than films.
But
And I
don't
think
get
some
why they're
things work
doing
better as
I don't
films than
get-
series.
I don't really get why they're doing a film because they're still doing a series.
But I think
So
the
it's a bit
film's
like-
going to be off a different spin, of a different time frame. So I
Yeah.
think the film's going to go into sort of like their World War One, where they bonded and became like the unit that they are, and how
Just
it all
odd
came
thing.
about. Because obviously Peaky
But
Blinders.
you could do that in a series.
Yeah, but
You could do that in a
you'd have to do that before. To me, if you're going to do that, it'd have to be either before or like at the very, very last thing.
Yeah, I can get that.
So I can see where if they did that in the film, I can
I
kind of
hope
see where
it
they're coming
works for
from.
them. I
But
hope it works for
I
them.
do like I do love Peaky, and I generally do. But yeah, the film, I don't know. I don't
My
know.
other half's just started watching that again because Netflix took Sons of Anarchy off. So yeah, still watch
Did
that.
they?
Yeah,
Disney. It's on Disney.
yeah. I think Disney bought it. So
Yeah,
it's
Sons of
on
Anarchy's on
Netflix now.
Disney.
I was like, I don't even have Netflix. I don't even know what Netflix you're using. But
See, because
yeah.
I've got my new phone. I got 6 months of Disney.
Do you love Sons of Anarchy?
Mine's was a letdown. Mine's was a letdown
Hmm.
to a degree. But then when you start seeing the Suns come into it, and then things that didn't happen. Well, when like when Happy disappeared out of Suns,
Yeah.
when he shows up in the Mayans, it then makes sense to why he disappeared, and it's like, oh shit. But I've been watching Justified.
Not seeing that. What do you mean?
Oh,
I
you
don't
love
watch
Justified.
a lot of TV.
Right.
No, I don't watch a
So
lot of TV.
Justified is basically a U.S. Marshal, very gun heavy
Who's
U.S.
in it?
Marshal
Who's in it? Because it
Venus?
sounds familiar.
from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, yes, I do. I've
Main
seen the
character.
trailer.
Honestly,
I've seen the trailer. I've seen the
get,
trailer. I've seen the
get
trailer.
into it.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer. You have to remind me of these things because I
I'll
don't
message
remember
you.
my left from my
But
right.
yeah, no, he's in it. And do you remember Saving Private Ryan? Is it Gotham? The bloke who carries a typewriter. When he first,
Oh, yeah.
he's in it.
yeah.
He plays an arsehole in it.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah, and he plays it really well as well. Because I'm looking at it, I'm watching it, and going, I fucking know you. It was Hopham. I was like, shh, mate, he plays the baddie better than he plays the fucking geek.
I liked him as a geek.
Yeah, oh, your camera's going slowly. Oh, there we go. We've caught up. We've caught up.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. It's all right. But yeah, no. See, and yeah, as Luce said, tangent.
We do go on tangents. We
I love it.
apologize. But in a sense, the tangents make sense to the initial
What we're
goal
talking
that we
about.
set. So,
And I can
it's
bring it
not
back
the
round to
worst thing.
Ubisoft as well. Because Syndicate, they did Jack the Ripper. There you go.
They did.
They did.
To be fair,
It was a
we'll
DLC.
give them that.
Jack the Ripper DLC.
And I really enjoyed that DLC.
See? The
So-
fact that Jack the Ripper was actually an assassin that went rogue.
So your question really is, chat, do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, that's the main question, really. Yeah.
Anybody
Do you think it is?
listening to this podcast?
And
Is
let
it
me know
going?
let me know why as well. Let me know why you think it's going to go. Is it because of one game? Is it been a progressive downfall? Or do you just think that they're not hitting the mark anymore?
Do you want my opinion?
Yes.
I think progressive downfall.
And one game just fucking finished it.
I mean, one game truly did put the fucking nail in the coffin,
Mm.
but I do think they've been kind of
Yeah.
slowly
Slowly
doing
wishing
that.
their own demise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in
So-
agreement, which hurts me so fucking much.
And it's not a nice thing, because I don't want to see it.
No, I don't.
You don't want to see, like, your beloved games go. Like, you don't.
What's
No
gonna?
one
Do you know
wants to
what's
see
gonna
that.
hurt me most though? I have a feeling it's gonna, and I hope to God it doesn't. If Ubisoft does go, you watch the price of the games go.
Of course. I mean, can I be honest, though? They're not that cheap anyway.
No, they're not, but I reckon they'll go even higher.
Yeah.
And
Someone else will take them over and just raise them.
Yeah.
Limited edition kind of stuff.
Epic. I reckon Epic will have the main, or Steam
I don't think
on
Steam will, I
PC.
think
On
Epic.
PC mainly. But yeah, honestly, I just got a vision of the games just going through the
But
fucking
this
roof.
is why you have to support people, guys.
Mm.
And even if people are bringing out games where you can be so controversial because there's a woman in it, chill out. It's just a
But-
game.
Shall I give you my last thought on this? You know what else I actually think has fucked Ubisoft? Their Ubisoft Play.
Yeah.
The
I
monthly
was gonna say,
subscription.
it just didn't work for them. I don't know why they did it.
I think they did it to try and sort of like make it easier for people to play games, but they're not as big as Xbox.
I just think they should have slightly reduced pricing of some of the older games. That would have helped
And
because
just not
that would
done
have
this monthly
encouraged
thing.
people to play the older games to then buy the newer games. The problem is all the older games were very similar prices to the newer games. I'm not going to spend £30 on Assassin's Creed 1. I'm not going to.
Shall I tell you something though that a lot of people didn't know about? And I didn't. I only found this out recently. A lot of people didn't know. You know, do you have a Ubisoft account?
Yeah.
So when you log into a Ubisoft game, do you sign into it?
I mean, I haven't in a while, but yeah, I guess
Right.
so.
So you know you got your Ubisoft score.
Yeah.
Do you know that you can use them points to get 20% off games?
Yeah.
Yep.
Should they promote that?
Yes.
Probably.
A lot of people didn't know this, but if you're buying a game on their store online, you can actually use your Ubisoft points to get 10 up to 20. I think in some games up to 20% off.
Suggestion for Ubisoft: perhaps promote that for yourselves. It might help.
So therefore, to me, promote that, get rid of the monthly subscription pay, and people
just do
buy your
that.
games.
But that's like CD keys. They do exactly the same thing.
Yep.
They take your points and they'll take money off the games that you buy. Just do that. It's not
Yep.
a hard thing to do. No one wants a subscription from Ubisoft. You're not
I
big
do.
enough.
I pay for it personally.
I mean, yeah, but it's
I've
different.
cancelled it
Like,
recently.
no one really.
Well, I cancelled it recently because I can't play anything.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. It's like for me, my subscriptions will be for Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah,
because
see,
of
I've
the-
got my
it's the big thing.
Xbox and I've got Ubisoft, but I've cancelled Ubisoft last month because I can't play anything still. I
Yeah.
don't want to keep playing. I don't want to play Valhalla again and again and again. It's not worth
No.
the £15 a month. £15 a month I pay.
Wow,
'Cause
that
I've
is
got- I've got it so I can play remote.
price.
I've got it so I can play remote
I
as
would
well.
have thought it would have been less than that. I mean, that's more expensive than freaking
Xbox.
Xbox and
Yeah.
and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I also get the early
Wow.
access to like Shadow and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah.
So I was
but
gonna
if the
redo
game
it for
comes
this month for February,
Yeah, but the thing is though, darling, that's completely. It would be fine if you knew that you were producing games every single month. It's very different with PlayStation and stuff because PlayStation, in a sense, they will get the early access and you can pre-download it. But Ubisoft is a one-trick pony company, so you've got to wait for the game.
Yeah, exactly. So I've cancelled it and then I'll reinstate it.
Yeah, I would do that.
But yeah, but if you guys didn't know that, yeah, you can actually use your Ubisoft points to actually get discounts on games.
We may go on tangents, but we give tips and tricks.
So there you go. So yeah, but on that note, ladies and gents, we're actually going to call this one because I think we've pretty much covered everything under and over it.
And we did say it was going to be a short one, and it was
still an hour. So yeah. But Luce, once again, thank you very, very much indeed for popping in tonight.
Thanks, love.
An absolute pleasure.
Appreciate it.
And we will see you all next week.
See you next week.
Take care, guys. Peace out. Bye bye bye.